Hi there, and thank you for watching. Has your old GPCU stopped working? A replacement can cost a few $100s. I'm going to show you how to fix it for less than $20. And I'm no expert with electronics or soldering, so let me give you some confidence. If I can do it, so can you. First, I'm going to show this. If the ECU is working, the check engine light will light up when you first turn the key. A sign that your ECU has gone bad is if you don't see this light. Let me demonstrate. I first did a check to make sure the ECU was getting power and ground at the proper pins. All seemed good, so now I need to take the ECU out. It's just held in with 3 screws. The case is held together by plastic snap tabs. Carefully use a screwdriver to gently pry them loose. Be patient as the plastic is probably brittle with age. I used a break-off razor to carefully go around the edge of the board to make sure it wasn't stuck to the plastic case. I think suction is holding the board in. I used a screwdriver to move the plastic around and try to break the seal. I want to be clear that I'm not prying on the circuit board here. Gently wiggle and pull up using the terminal block. So, I don't have the proper equipment to troubleshoot a circuit board. But here's the thing. If any sort of circuit board goes bad, the most likely culprit is a capacitor. It's not that they're bad quality or anything, but after 30 or more years, they see enough heat to start to break down. There are 3 capacitors on this board. I'm using a plastic trim tool to strip away the factory potting on both sides of all 3 capacitors. Now that the capacitors are exposed, I could read the capacitance to find replacements. I don't know which one is bad, I'm just going to replace all 3. Now, let's go over what you'll need to order for this. Obviously, you'll need new capacitors. Spend a little extra for some high quality Japanese or German made pieces. 220 microfarads is the capacitance you'll need. You'll want some potting silicone. Don't just use normal sealing silicone like for a window. This stuff is made for circuit boards. I bought a small bottle of liquid soldering flux. This is way easier to deal with than typical flux paste. Get a roll of desoldering wick. You can find plenty of people who just use some fine stranded wire for this, but come on, this stuff is cheap and easy to use. Use a toothbrush or a nylon brush to clean the solder area well. Burn some flux into the wick, then use it to remove as much solder as possible from the capacitor connection. I'm certainly no expert on this, so I might recommend watching some videos on circuit board repairs for this part. When the wick gets full of solder, just cut off a few inches and reapply the flux. Oh, and before you pull the capacitor, make sure you pay attention to the polarity. There's typically a stripe on the negative lead. The new capacitors must be wired in the same as the old. I'm going off memory here, but I think all the polarity stripes were facing the heatsink. With the capacitor now out, I went back with a wick one more time to make sure the holes were completely clear of old solder. Place in the new capacitors. The physical size of the new capacitor may be a little different from the old, so you may have to tweak and bend the wire some to get it to go through the holes. Once again, make sure the polarity direction is the same as the old. I just put a dab of solder on the iron tip and then carefully hold it to the connection point until it smooths out. Clip off the excess wire stem, then repeat for the other two. Before I seal everything up, let's give it a quick test. That engine was slow to start because it hasn't run in about 5 years. Anyway, let's clean out our repair one more time. Apply the potting silicone to reseal the circuit board. Put enough for a good seal, but I tried not to cover much of the capacitor body so it could cool a little bit easier. Give it some time to set up and do the same to the backside. Let it set up for at least 24 hours. Now I can put it back in the cleaned up case. The plastic clips can be a little trouble. Carefully use a screwdriver to get them back in place. For good measure, let's add a liberal glob of dielectric grease to the terminal strip. And that should get you back on the road. I hope this video could help you out, or at least give you some encouragement. As always, I really appreciate you watching. Take care.